You know how lots of people love Star Wars? Whenever a Star Wars game is released, it targets that large group of people as its key player base. I might have mentioned this, but I don't really like Star Wars. I mean, I enjoyed it as a kid because back then everything seemed cool, but these movies are for children and in my eyes, they haven't aged well. Oh, the beep boop buttons and lights on Darth Vader's suit and similar things just look silly to adult Nino. With that being said, I don't look down on anyone who loves the franchise. To each their own. The reason why I'm starting this review of a Robocop game while talking about Star Wars is because when it comes to Robocop, I'm one of those fans who realize that it's very dated in terms of how the future is presented in the movie, and it mostly looks and feels silly, but I still somehow like it appeals to me. I am the target audience of this game. The thing that impresses me here is the developers are banking on it, and unlike Star Wars, Robocop doesn't have nearly as many fans. It's a very risky move, but boy am I glad they decided to go for it because I actually enjoyed this game far more than I expected I would. Let's start by mentioning the Ultrawide support. Should you own an Ultrawide monitor, I would recommend seeking out Rose's Ultrawide fix, especially if you want to play 32:9. While the 21:9 appears to be supported well enough, as soon as you push for 32:9 you will have to play zoomed in, which just sucks. Come on guys, make those games work as they should from the start. Why does a modder have to do your job? Shame on you, and props to Rose, who has been one of the most consistent modders when it comes to Ultrawide fixes. Undoubtedly, the visual style of Rogue City is one of its strongest suits. The cyberpunk-inspired world of crime-ridden Detroit is meticulously crafted with neon-soaked streets and towering skyscrapers that capture the dystopian essence of the movies. However, the praise stops short when examining character animations, which are clunky and fail to match the otherwise high-quality graphics. Even worse, they constantly swing left and right like some kind of 2D characters in a beat-em-up game, and it looks really stupid. I have no idea what they were thinking when that design decision was made, but it makes the game feel very old. The gameplay in Rogue City attempts to blend various elements of different genres, adding some RPG aspects such as the side quests, levels, and skills to the mix. You even get various chips which change the fundamental ways your main gun works and have the possibility to unlock features such as bullet time through skills that you upgrade. In addition to that, Robocop has no problems with just picking up any random goon's weapon and shooting with that. Obviously, this was all designed to make the FPS sections of the game more interesting, and while the concept is promising, the execution falls short. Controls can feel unresponsive at times, leading to frustrating combat experiences. The variety of weapons doesn't translate to meaningful choices in the heat of battle, making most, if not all, encounters feel quite monotonous and boring. The enemies are intentionally designed to look and sound like idiots, because that was the type of goon we would see in a superhero movie back in the day, but unfortunately their AI is equally idiotic, making them all feel like target practice. It doesn't help that Robocop is essentially a tank and moves like one, meaning that there aren't any real options for you to seek cover. I mean, you can stand behind stuff, but you cannot peek or anything like that, and you lack the mobility, which forces you to stand there and shoot the idiots in the head so that they can die before dealing too much damage to you. This does feel pretty in sync with the movies though, but doesn't really translate into good gameplay. Personally, I didn't mind it that much since I felt like I was role-playing as Robocop, and that's exactly how it would be if I was him, but I can imagine that many would hate this. My wife actually watched me playing on several different occasions and kept commenting how this game is really stupid. But the thing she doesn't get, because she's a hater, is that Robocop is not about the shooting. You make decisions which affect the game's ending. You clean up Detroit and its streets while even affecting the outcome of an election, uncover a huge conspiracy, and enjoy an overall surprisingly good story. That's what Robocop's about. But while the narrative is really good and actually expands the Robocop universe, it also suffers from pacing issues and lack of emotional depth. The promised exploration of justice, morality, and corporate power feels surface level, leaving players wanting more substance. The branching side quest storylines feel like a nice touch, but often lead to predictable outcomes, diminishing the impact of the player choices. Nevertheless, you can see that these are high-level points of critique, which shows that the story actually has potential. Had it not been that way, I would have just said that it sucks, but instead I enjoyed it and think that more could have been done here to elevate it additionally. The return of Peter Weller as the voice of Robocop is simply put awesome, providing a nostalgic touch for fans such as myself. However, other voice performances can be a bit hit or miss, with some characters lacking the gravitas needed to carry the weight of the story. The soundtrack, while competent, doesn't consistently enhance the gaming experience, occasionally feeling disconnected from the on-screen action. Rogue City attempts to inject replay value through branching storylines and multiple endings, but to be honest, I just can't see myself replaying the game even though I did enjoy it. The only thing I couldn't do were 2 early side quests which required the engineering skill, a skill that I would level up a bit later. But honestly, the choices here aren't that substantial to warrant the gameplay. To my surprise, Robocop was not Baldur's Gate 3 of the first-person shooters. Jokes aside though, the point I am making is that even a fan of the character wouldn't really consider replaying the game. Luckily, you're still looking at around 15 to 20 hours of gameplay if you really do everything like I did, which is plenty. At the end of the day, Robocop Rogue City tantalizes players with a glimpse of the iconic character's potential in the gaming world, but ultimately falls short on delivering a truly satisfying experience. The commendable visual design and nostalgic nods to the source material can't mask the gameplay's flaws and the missed opportunities for meaningful player engagement. While it may appeal to die-hard Robocop enthusiasts such as myself, others may find themselves yearning for a more polished and innovative gaming experience. The devs have laid the groundwork, but the potential for a truly exceptional Robocop game remains unfulfilled. Still, I did enjoy the story and overall experience. The RPG elements really did make the game more appealing, and I am leaving it with fond memories. I expected far less and thought it would suck, and while it was not nearly as big of a surprise as, say, Terminator Resistance was, it was still a positive surprise nonetheless. Considering that this was developed by a relatively small Polish developer, I'm excited to see what they're capable of. Keep up the good work, Teon. With that having been said, I want to thank you for watching Game Filter. I hope this review has been informative and would love to see you again next time. Until then, have a great day. This is Nino signing out.